Alright, let's begin. So for this video, we're going to be showcasing some general gameplay, as well as how the wave manager processes the waves for the segments. So if I press 1, we can see that we're going to be starting with wave 1. So wave 1 has, for the centipede, it's going to send in a value of 0. Its length is going to be a value of 12. Its speed is going to be a value of 1. And its grid is going to be the active grid. For the spider, we can see that its initial delay is going to be 10, and its respawn delay is going to be 15. Its speed is going to be 1. Oh, this should be lowercase, not uppercase. Respawn delay is set to 15. Its presence is going to be set to true, which means it's going to enable the spawners. And then its grid's going to be the active grid. The flea spawner, we can see that its shroom threshold will be 9,999. Its spawn chance for mushrooms is going to be set to 0. And its presence is going to be set to false. And then its grid is going to be its active grid. For the scorpion data, we can see that its initial delay is going to be set to 1. Its respawn delay is going to be 2. Its speed is going to be 1. And its presence is going to be false, which means it's going to make sure the spawn is disabled. And then its active grid is going to be the current grid. So now we can play the game. You can see the spider goes across the screen. When you shoot it, it creates a score display based off of its distance. So the closer we are, it goes to 900. Whenever we shoot a centipede, it creates a mushroom. If we get hit, it will reroll the wave. So I'm just going to skip ahead a bit. So as you can see, all those values were kept the same. Grid's active. Same with the spider. All of it was kept the same. Same with the flea. We just skip to the end. All of it was kept the same. For the scorpion, once again, everything's kept the same. So as you can see, when we shoot a segment, it splits off. It makes the centipede split. If we shoot the head, it creates a new head. Well, it promotes the segment behind it into a head. If I can just... Once all the centipedes are cleared off the field, we can start the next wave. So as you can see, now we're going to be looking at wave 2. So wave 2, we can see that we're going to have 2 solo heads now. So if I look at the solo head count, it changes to 2. Its length is going to be changed to 10. Its speed is going to be set to 2. And it's going to get the active grid. For the spider data, we're going to get the initial delay changed over to a 5. Its respawn delay is going to be a 10. Its speed is going to be set to 2. Its presence is going to be set to true again, so it's going to keep the spawners enabled. And then we set the grid to the active grid. For the flea, we are going to set the threshold to 5. We're going to make its spawn chance into 20. We're going to make its presence true. And then we're going to get the active grid. For the scorpion, we're going to set the initial delay to 10. Set the respawn value to 20. Set its speed down to 1. And also make its presence false still, so it's not spawning. So flea spawned immediately. I'm going to press M to mute it, so I see it's going down faster. If I clear these mushrooms, then it will drop another one because there are not enough mushrooms in the play space. If I can shoot it, when I shoot it, it moves faster and it stops spawning fleas. And then it loads in the same data again. So once again, here, values don't change. Values remain the same. Values are aligned with what's on the chart. So if I can destroy centipede, so now we're in the next wave. So next wave for the centipede, the solo head count for wave 3 is going to be 5. The length is going to be 7. The speed is going to stay at 2. And then we get the active grid. For the spider, we're going to set the delay down to 2. The respawn delay to 8. Its speed is going to be changed to 4. Let's see, the speed is 4 now. And its presence is going to be set to true, so it's going to spawn itself. Then we get the active grid. Flee, we're going to set the mushrooms to 8. The spawn chance is going to be changed to 25. Its presence is true, and it gets the active grid. For the scorpion, its initial delay is going to be set to 10 again. It's not changing. Its respawn delay is going to stay at 20. Its speed is going to be changed to 2 though, and its presence is going to be set to true, so it will start spawning now. So now we have a scorpion, as you can see right there. When a centipede comes in contact with a poison mushroom, it is going to come crashing to the bottom of the screen, which I will showcase in 2-player because I am out of lives. So because we got a high score, it's going to ask for initials, so I'm just going to put in P1L, and then it's going to pull back the data from wave 1. So see that we have no, back to 12, 0, and 1. Initial delay, got 10. We're changing all of this again to be the wave 1 data. So now all of that's set back to normal. And then the scorpion as well. Disable the spawns, and then get the active grid. So now we are going to swap over to 2-player mode. So 2-player mode, I'm going to skip this again because we already know the wave 1 deal. So I'm going to play through 2-player a bit. So player 2 is going to get to the next wave. So we already know this deal of the wave 2 data. So I'm just going to skip through it a bit. It's now on the wave 2 data. Then we run through. If player 2 dies, it's going to reset the board. And then player 1 is going to go in with all of the wave 1 data. So as you see, the solo head is back to 0, like the 12, speed of 1. Same thing goes with the spider. All of this is the wave 1 data. Same with the flea. All of this is the wave 1 data. And the scorpion will also have the wave 1 data. So that is how the wave manager interacts with the level. So I see it manages the 2 different states. I will quickly show it managing if player 1 dies, it will go back to player 2 on wave 2, which I'll showcase once another spider spawns, like that. So now that the spider spawned, we are going to go back to the wave 2 data. So see here, we got the 2 solo heads now. We got our speed changed and all of our initial delays as well. The threshold and spawn chance have changed, and the scorpion values have also changed. Okay, so with that, I don't need these breakpoints anymore, so I can just showcase the rest of the game. So see again, if I can get a clean shot on a flea while I'm playing this. See, I keep double tapping it. So I see when it shoots down, it can't spawn any more mushrooms, which I thought I had a breakpoint to showcase more. Where is my... Alright, I disabled all my breakpoints, that's why. If I go to critters. So here we can see the critter, it has a chance to spawn mushrooms when it's not hit. If I were to quickly unpause this and then hit it. Now we are in the separate breakpoint spot where it can no longer spawn mushrooms because it is now hit. So if I can go back to the flea because I don't need this breakpoint anymore. So now I'll swap back to player 1. which I don't need to really showcase much. I already showcased the data that we needed, so I'm just going to focus on having one player. So that we can go back to focusing on showing the poison state. So when a centipede comes in contact with the poison mushroom, it rushes to the bottom of the screen, and then it starts moving normally. So it starts moving to the top of the screen. Once it reaches the top of the play space, it starts going back down again, like so. And then I got hit, so it's going to respawn everything. And I got another high score. So now we're back to player 2. Don't fully care about this as much, but I need to finish the cycle. So I'm just going to finish the cycle. So we got that. And now if I close out of the game, we go through, I thought I closed all these. We go through cycling through all of our object pools. I already covered this in another, I'll cover this in another video, so I don't need to showcase it here. So there we go. That's a memory check passed. The last thing to show is, let me just make sure it doesn't have, yeah, it's not going to compile anything. If I were to go back to wave 1 and change the speed to 8 instead, you see that we can run this without recompiling. And now we have a really fast centipede. So again, for reference, there was the super speed. If I change that back to 1, we have slow speed. Slow speed. And that is everything, I think. Back to super speed again. See that it persists through levels as well. All right, that's everything.